Vlad said I disrespected his family, and I never do that. I don't disrespect somebody's family. I just said your wife is black, and you disrespecting black men. That's what the fuck I said. He tried to make it look like I disrespected his family. He disrespected my family. And Harry's like, no, that's my man. You tried to make it look like
Aries held it down.
He held it down, and I go, you have a black wife, and you're just like treating black men like they ain't shit. See, some of you white dudes that fuck black girls, you think you are civil rights. You think you're civil rights leaders.
I give Aries held it down. He was like, he ain't coming back. He ain't
right.
Straight.
Like,
that's
he's not,
man.
He's not invited back. I wasn't coming back.
Nobody asked to be on my show more than Godfrey. As soon as the clips were done, or even before that, he would call me, yo, I want to come back on. Yo, my bookings go up like crazy whenever I'm on VladTV. He would always say this. Godfrey's been in my home. I bought him countless meals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I helped, you know, we had a good relationship. We had a friendly relationship. So, yeah, man, I just think Godfrey's a punk.
All right, buckle up, because the saga of VladTV versus Godfrey is like a reality TV show script that got lost on its way to Hollywood and ended up as a long-winded podcast episode. It's got everything: friendship, betrayal, ghosted texts, clout chasing, and more drama than a soap opera marathon, but told with that awkward mix of I'm still bitter but gotta sound professional energy that only VladTV can deliver. So let's unpack this glorious mess with the seriousness it deserves, which is to say, with equal parts amusement and exasperation. VladTV's beef with Godfrey is basically the story of a friendship that started with good vibes and ended with the kind of public sniping that makes you question humanity's capacity for basic loyalty. Vlad makes it clear Godfrey was like family, popping up on Vlad's show all the time, eating the meals Vlad bought him, and riding that sweet VladTV clout wave, which, as Vlad notes with obvious pride, made Godfrey's bookings go up like crazy. In other words, Godfrey was riding shotgun on Vlad's gravy train, knowing exactly how to play the game. Then, suddenly, Godfrey pulls a stunt that's less plot twist and more, what the heck did I just witness? He starts calling Vlad a culture vulture and trashing not just Vlad's reputation but also his family's, which, as Vlad points out, is about the lowest move you can make after years of kindness.
Godfrey, man, there was a little thing between, I guess, Corey had an issue with Godfrey or something, and Godfrey did a Corey Holcomb impression. Blew my socks off because I wasn't expecting it. And the way Godfrey did that shit, I called him up and was like, nigga, wow. I know why you're doing that too.
Listen, when you came on my show last time and you were like, Godfrey said he's not coming back on VladTV, I'm so tired of hearing someone saying they won't come back when they're not invited. Like, Godfrey's not invited back to VladTV. This is not community college. You don't just show up and you enroll. Like, it's not like that. You're not invited on the show.
But didn't you say you extended an olive branch to him, like, hey man, maybe you should come back? And
No, I never said that.
Say that.
No, I texted him. I ran into him.
I thought you told me when you ran into him, you extended an olive branch.
No, that's not what I said. We need to talk.
Okay, but we need to talk where? Off to the side or on the show?
No, we need to talk, like have a personal conversation.
And if that personal conversation went well, you wouldn't have said, hey man, why don't you come back?
I mean, anything is possible. Okay. But right now, August 6, 2025, Godfrey's not invited back to the show. And when I got his phone number from a mutual friend, and when I texted him, he didn't hit me back. And then when they brought it up on his show, he's like, oh, no, I think Vlad texted me. I'm not sure. Maybe he did. Oh, did you change your number? Oh, yeah, I changed my number. So, motherfucker, you know I texted you.
Okay, but that sounds like the ingredients of all those things mixed together, which is making you take the stance, well, he's not invited back.
But here's the kicker. Godfrey wasn't just airing grievances like a grown-up with an axe to grind. No, he was doing it for clout. In today's world, clout is currency, and Vlad's analysis is brutal and succinct. Godfrey wanted to raise his social stock by dragging Vlad through the mud, and Vlad isn't having any of it. Now, the olive branch myth is one of those classic he said, she said moments that could fill an entire episode of The Real Housewives of podcast drama. Vlad makes it crystal clear that there was never an olive branch extended for a VladTV comeback. The text Vlad sent Godfrey, "We need to talk," wasn't an open invite to jump back on the show, but a request for a personal off-camera conversation to clear the air. But what does Godfrey do? He ghosts Vlad, plays the I changed my number card, which Vlad calls out as a bald-faced lie, and then slings mud publicly. Compare that to Vlad's story about Jamar's return, a whole different level of adulting. Jamar and Vlad sat down, hashed out their issues privately, swapped apologies, and only then talked about coming back to the show.
He's not invited back. He's not invited
But if
back.
all of that hadn't gone down,
He still would not be invited back. The fact that Jamar was invited back was that me and Jamar had a long conversation, and we both apologized for the things that we did to get us to that point.
right?
We didn't just work out our differences on camera. We had a long conversation. That conversation had nothing to do with him coming back. During the follow-up conversations, we started kicking around that idea, and we both said, yeah, actually, this sounds like a cool idea.
Right.
But he can't just come back. And it's funny because I guess there's a video, people were saying this to me, where he ran to Vibes Cartel. And Vibes was like, oh yeah, Vlad needs to thank you because you've been on his show so many times. You could tell like Godfrey was like, Vlad. Like basically meaning that Vibes knows about Godfrey because of VladTV, because of all his appearances. Because when he was in jail, he was watching VladTV interviews that also featured Godfrey. At the end of the day, man, like, Godfrey knows that I've never been anything but kind to him for years. Nobody asked to be on my show more than Godfrey. As soon as the clips were done, or even before that, he would call me, yo, I want to come back on. Yo, my bookings go up like crazy whenever I'm on Vlad TV. He would always say this. Godfrey's been in my home. I bought him countless meals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I helped, we had a good relationship. We had a friendly relationship. Like, there was never a bad word between us. And he suddenly, because of what happened, he realized, I could get some clout by actually saying fuck Vlad and calling him a culture vulture and trashing him and trashing his family and so forth. Let me just throw away these years of relationship that we had. Suddenly it's more beneficial to say fuck Vlad.
And then there's the three-way phone call that sounds like it was pulled from a sitcom writer's notebook. Godfrey's initial instinct was, let me take a week off, but Jamar flips it into a group quit, and Godfrey just goes along like a reluctant sidekick. To Vlad, that's not a sign of loyalty. It's punk behavior. Oh, and don't forget the Farrakhan fiasco. Apparently, Godfrey was the one who suggested bringing Farrakhan into the conversation, using a family connection no less, but when the backlash hit, Godfrey threw Vlad under the bus faster than you can say culture vulture.
Even though there's never been a bad situation with us ever. In fact, our final conversation it was a three-way call between him and Jamar. Godfrey's like, yeah, man, so let's just like take like a week off or something, 2 weeks off. And Jamar's like, no, man, we quitting the show. We're not coming back. We're not coming back. Tell him, Godfrey. And then Godfrey went along with Jamar at that moment, when really his first instinct was, no, let's just take a break. We cool. The whole thing, the whole thing about talking with Farrakhan was his idea. When we first had the conversation, he said, yeah, I know one of Farrakhan's relatives, and I think I could hook up that conversation and so forth. And I'm like, all right, well, if you want to hook it up, go ahead. Suddenly, when he got backlash for that, suddenly, oh, fuck Vlad. So yeah, man, I just think Godfrey's a punk. Point blank period. That's your man, but that's just how I feel. You brought him up, by the way.
And scene.
Aries, man. Oh.
So what's the takeaway from this VladTV versus Godfrey saga? Don't burn bridges, especially ones that feed your career and come with free meals. Godfrey's choice to publicly diss Vlad after years of support looks less like a power move and more like a classic bite the hand that fed you case study. Ghosting texts and lying about phone numbers, that's amateur hour. If you want to clear the air, you pick up the phone. Otherwise, you just look petty. Conflict resolution requires more than rage tweets and disses. Vlad's example with Jamar is proof that grown-ups talk things out, apologize, and move forward. Godfrey apparently skipped this memo. Clout chasing is a dangerous game, especially when you're trading on someone else's goodwill. Vlad's summary is blunt. Godfrey's actions were punk. Point blank, period. If this were a Shakespearean tragedy, Vlad would be the betrayed friend standing center stage, shaking his fist and delivering a soliloquy about loyalty and respect. But since this is real life, it's more like a painfully awkward group text you don't want to be part of, starring two grown men acting like high schoolers over who gets to sit in the cool kids table at VladTV. Either way, it's comedy gold. Ironically, the kind only comedians and internet personalities could cook up.